Welcome to News Writing Week 2. This is Harrower Chapter 3. I just wanted to give you a few highlights so you'll have some context about what you should be looking at when you're going through the chapter. Obviously, that will become clear as you start working on the exercises and the forum post as well. First of all, the facts. This chapter emphasizes the idea that journalists deal in facts. Journalists are not the bearer of the facts. Sources are the bearer of the facts. Facts help you in your quest to be objective, truthful, and fair. And yes, there are opinions on news sites and newspapers and magazines, but we try to keep those on opinion pages or in columns. And what we're focusing on this semester is writing the objective news story. The next thing Harrower is going to be addressing is what you learned in grade school, the 5 W's, who, what, when, where, why, and how. These questions are very important to answer in every story. And figuring out which ones are the most important is ultimately going to help you craft your lead. Harrower has a lot of ideas for story shapes and forms. I'm going to encourage you to focus on the inverted pyramid. It's a news writing format that summarizes the most important facts at the beginning of the story. Yep, it spoils the story, but that's okay. That's what readers want. They want to know what the story's about, and they're not going to wait until the end to get the news. You'll learn about the advantages and disadvantages of that writing style. You'll learn about writing basic leads. Again, Harrower loves to give you a variety of ways to do things, and he's got a couple of pages of all different types of leads. I would just focus on writing the news lead, what we call sometimes the summary lead. It's just a basic lead, and that sums up what happens. Read Harrower, read the tips on page 45. There's some great tips, but also start scrutinizing the leads you read on news stories and think about how they're written, what information the reporter had to put in those leads. Is it credible? Is it sourced? And does it tell the reader what is the most important and or the most interesting thing about that story? After the lead, the rest of the story also needs to be organized. Great diagram on page 49. Again, don't get too hung up on this right now. If you use short paragraphs with one idea per paragraphs and focus on the inverted pyramid and add transitions, your story will find organization organically. Finally, at the end of the chapter, you'll learn about rewriting, about editing, about news writing style, and making deadline. Critical component of writing for any writer of any kind is to have someone edit and to revise. Revise as many times as you think it's necessary to get the story the way you want it, the way that it's publishable. The last part of the chapter are the 66 news writing tips, great tips that will help you make your stories more professional, about editing style, rules of grammar, word choices. I can guarantee you that these will be on the quiz, and they're very important for you to understand. Not just to know, and please just don't memorize them, but understand their application. So take a deep breath and enjoy.